Hello friends, welcome back. Today is Something New Saturday. This Saturday where I show you some new stuff. So I've got a couple of pops of color here from scrapbook.com. Have not tried these before, so we're going to try these out. Sentiment stamp from Lawn Fawn. And I really like this set because you've got outlines and solids, so that's pretty cool. Waffle Flower Skinny Stripes die. And this die that came with the Sizzix Switch. And my thought is, I'm going to cut this out of black and then cut strips to go behind it. And yes, you could totally do this with a trimmer, and I do it with a trimmer. However, if dies make life easier and I can squeeze them into my budget, I'm gonna. So we're gonna use these together. And then our sentiment will be one of these guys. Let's make a card. Alrighty, so I've got some paper scraps and my little buddy, and let's cut some strips here. And I'm just going to do this real quick and simple. These all fit on this small Sizzix Sidekick, so that's kind of great. We're just going to run these through. Alrighty, so we have our strips and our lattice type shapes here. Now you can also cut just this, which I did. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my strips up on this piece here. And then we'll put the lattice section just right over it. And I'm not putting these on in any particular order. I just picked some scraps and that I thought would go well with the pops of color that I have. And we're just gonna use those. No particular color, no particular order or anything. What's nice about being able to use the strip dies is you get that lovely beveled edge that you get from a metal die versus, you know, when you use your trimmer. So, I was glad to finally add some to my stash. Is it something that you need? Nope. Is it something that you might want? Yep. Stick them down there and just butt them right up against each other. And then you can just trim your ends off when you're done. They're all stuck on, and I'll just trim the ends off. Gonna lay over that, and look how pretty that'll be. Just some nice stripes behind it. Now I cut two. And I'm going to stack them on top of each other for a little extra oomph. Get this lined up. So we've got that lined up, and now we'll just glue this on top of our striped piece. Let's put this over top of this one. Okay, so that lovely focal point piece is done. And I think since I have strips left over, I'm going to go ahead and put some on this card front. And we'll get our T-square out. And try and keep things straight. I'm just going to do a few. Alrighty, so we have 5 strips because, you know, odd numbers and all that. Give that a second to dry. I'm going to add this to the card front, lined up about like this. And we'll use some black fun foam on the back to pop it up. And a little bit of bear glue. And I think how I'm going to line it up is with this yellow at the end. Just like that. Hold it down for a second, give it some time to grab a hold. Now for our sentiment, how about a thank you card? Since this is such a nice bold sentiment, I think I want to emboss it with white onto black. We've got our anti-static powder. You need that, especially if you're doing white. Whew. White onto black, or black embossing powder, because man, it gets everywhere. I don't know what it is about the black, but it gets everywhere. Thanks so much. Lovely. And our white embossing powder. Alrighty, I'll go get this melted and I'll be right back. Let's get this trimmed down into a strip. And then I'm going to trim thanks and so much apart. I mat this on the purple that I used for the stripes. Trim this out, and that way they'll have a pretty little color around them. Alright, I want to pop these words up, and I have some purple fun foam in my stash. We're going to overlap them on the decorative piece just a little. Like that. Little bear glue, of course. Make sure it's relatively straight. And get the rest of our sentiment on. I'm going to put a couple of strips of paper inside, because you know what I say, no naked insides. All right, now let's try our pops of color. Wrap of paper here. So we've got this lavender gloss, soft lavender, and then a gloss dusty rose. I don't know if I'll use the dusty rose, but I'll definitely be using the lavender. And when you first get these, they're shrink wrapped and there is a little red plastic stopper. You got to take the stopper out. I suppose that keeps it from leaking in transit, which is very smart. Let's see, I've never used these before. Okay. All right, so let's dot some of this on. 1, 2, 3. And how about 1 here? All right, so we'll see. I guess these will dry and kind of look like enamel dots, right? We'll see when they're dry. Alrighty, friends, here's our card for this week's Something New Saturday. We used Pops of Color from scrapbook.com, which I had never used before. This is lavender. Yep, soft lavender. We used the die that came with the Sizzix Switch. Lawn Fawn sentiment stamp, and Waffle Flower skinny stripes die. I thought this turned out really cute. It's pretty simple. And then for no naked insides, a couple of stripes of paper. I hope you enjoyed this card. Dude, these pops of color are pretty neat. I wasn't really sure what I'd think of it. But scrapbook.com was giving a free bottle, you know, with a purchase a couple weeks ago. So I went ahead and got some. Have a lovely day. Remember, be excellent to each other and go make something. Bye-bye.